They told you that you were weak. They whispered it, they screamed it, they carved it into your mind until you believed it. Not because it was true, but because they were terrified of what you'd become if you ever realized the truth. Listen to me. You were never weak. They just needed you to believe it. Because the moment you see what you really are, no chain can hold you. You smile like everything's fine. But I know, behind that smile, your chest is heavy. Your throat burns from swallowing words you never said. Your silence has become your prison. And every night when the world goes quiet, you hear that voice in your head, reminding you of every time they made you feel like you were nothing. And you've started to wonder, maybe they were right. Maybe you are weak. But stop, right here. That's the lie. That's the poison they fed you. And tonight I'm tearing that lie out of you. You've carried this weight for so long, it feels normal. The fake smiles, the nodding along when people talk down to you, the way you hide your fire just to keep the peace. They see your silence and they think it's weakness. They see your patience and they mistake it for fear. They see your scars and they assume it means you've been defeated. But they don't know. They don't know the nights you've survived. They don't know the battles you fought in your own head just to make it to the next morning. They don't know the fire you've kept buried, waiting for the right moment. Tell me, doesn't it eat you alive? The way they talk like they know you, like they built you, like they own you. They thought if they broke your confidence, they could own your spirit. They thought if they changed your mind, your body would follow. They thought if they convinced you that you were small, you'd never dare to rise. And for a while, it worked. Didn't it? You lowered your voice. You shrank yourself to fit into their world. You swallowed your rage until it tasted like silence. But deep down, in the shadows of your chest, something has been waiting, breathing, burning, watching. The part of you they were terrified you'd discover. Let me paint the truth they never wanted you to see. Weakness isn't what they told you it was. Weakness isn't crying yourself to sleep. Weakness isn't being afraid. Weakness isn't having scars. No, weakness is pretending. Weakness is living a lie because it's easier than fighting. Weakness is choosing comfort over growth. And you've been fighting a war in silence every damn day. You've been bleeding on the inside, but you kept walking. You've been broken, but you kept moving. That's not weakness, that's survival. You know what's weak? The people who tried to control you. The ones who needed you to believe you were powerless, because deep down, they knew they couldn't stop you once you realized your strength. They projected their fears onto you. They tried to convince you that your fire was dangerous. And they were right. It is dangerous. For them, for anyone who tries to hold you down. Because when a person who's been told they're weak finally opens their eyes and sees the truth, they become unstoppable. But here's what they don't know. They don't know that every time they called you weak, you were actually getting stronger. They don't know that every insult they threw at you became another brick in the fortress you've been building inside. They don't know that the silence they mocked became the perfect place for you to sharpen your mind. You think your story is about pain, but the truth, it's about transformation. All those nights you thought were breaking you, they were building you. All the rejection you thought was proof of your weakness, it was shaping you. All the loneliness you thought meant you were unworthy, it was training you. They thought they were burying you, but they were planting you. And now you're rising. Let me tell you something they don't want you to hear. You are not weak. You were never weak. They just needed you to believe it so they could stay in control. But look at you, still here, still breathing, still standing. Even after everything they did, everything they said, every time they tried to break you, you're still here. That's not weakness. That's power. That's fire. That's strength most people will never understand. So stop believing their lies. Stop bowing your head. Stop apologizing for existing. Because the truth is this: you are stronger than they will ever admit. You are fiercer than they will ever allow themselves to see. And the only chains that ever held you were the ones they convinced you to wear. But chains break, and so do lies. And the moment you decide, the moment you choose to stop believing them, you become unstoppable. Listen to me and don't forget this. You were never weak. Not for 1 second. Not even when you doubted yourself. Not even when you broke down. Not even when you thought you couldn't take another step. Because the fact that you're still here proves it. The fact that you're still breathing, still fighting, still listening to these words proves it. You are not weak. You are a monster they couldn't control. A fire they couldn't put out. A storm they couldn't survive. And now you know the truth. Now you see it clearly. You were never weak. They just needed you to believe it. So tell me, now that you know who you really are, what are you going to do with that strength? Because the world is waiting, and it has no idea what's about to hit it.